Hi, it's Steve. Just finished week 3 of this course that I'm doing, and the one that's speaking tonight, I don't know who it is. But I can tell you I just had to restart this because I felt a bit nervous in what was being said. And it's strong. It's awesome. Alright, I'm going in. Greetings to you, and we're back. We must apologize, for we had this one confused in the topic that we were presenting, and we will do this again. As an incarnate, we learn, we develop, we evolve. And through this evolution, and through the years of your growth, as you learn from different experiences and learn to break patterns that you have developed as you grow, and create new patterns as you grow. There are things that people experience, the lessons, the hardships, that cause us, the incarnates, to grow, to shift. Experiences such as this one has been experiencing, where people have been employed to do work and they've not delivered. People have said that they will buy things and have not paid for it. It has led to what is dishonest. So, one of the biggest things that, as an incarnate, is that honesty and integrity and authenticity is essential. Previously, we were talking about trust. Is it a topic that we can teach? No. We can give you we can give a discussion on the fundamentals of trust, but it is you, the incarnate, that develops it. It is you, the incarnate, that needs to trust yourself and your own instincts. How can we teach you to trust yourself? How can we teach you to trust another person if you're still learning to trust yourself? As you can see, trust is self-developed. But how do you use this trust? Because many of you have experienced some form of trusting someone who has let you down, yes? Who has not only just let you down, but has been dishonest, has shown no levels of integrity. And that's what we are seeing right now. Engage in a contract in order for ABC. They charge fees and nothing gets delivered. We have seen this as a pattern. This pattern has led to the development of boundaries. Even with the assumption that an agreement or a contract in place may represent something, it means nothing. Because people are dishonest. They change phone numbers, they do not respond to emails, they move and do not do anything, they take. Where is the exchange? There's something missing. And then the incarnate that's had this experience goes through the trauma, the heartache, the pain, the stress. Something has been removed from their life. How do people cope? These hardships that you experience, please bear with us, are there to teach, are there for lessons, are there for experiences, they're there to develop boundaries. Now, by boundaries we aren't referring to the boundaries that you have around your heart. They are, what we would say, belief systems, yes. Boundaries, yes. You must declare them. You must declare them to yourself. You must declare them as a business, yes. Let us look as a business. If someone wants to buy something from you and they do not pay, do they get it? No. There's no exchange. You will have a boundary that says you are not to take. Do you see? There is automatically a boundary, understanding that this person, if they want to buy something, they will pay for it. But, as this one is learning, being relaxed in the way that they deal with professionals, yes, it can work. But then, if you're dealing with someone that is very relaxed and very chill, and you're meant to be providing a service, you will automatically assume, this person's cool, he'll be okay, he'll understand. So how do you bring this into balance so that providers that serve you, or servicing providers, being a provider, have that balance in order to understand that you must provide a service, or they must provide a service, without any form of excuses saying, well, you're pretty relaxed, so therefore we thought it'll be okay. You must overcome a fear, if there is one. If there is resistance, you must overcome this. Because how are you going to move on if you're running a business? How are you going to run a business professionally? Where is the self-worth? Where is the self-value? Where is the self-respect? Would you say that boundaries are associated with self-respect? Perhaps. As we have seen recently, someone was declaring their boundaries. Because they have self-respect. They have self-worth. If you do not have this, then why would people respect you? Why will they not exploit you if you do not have this? What we have experienced and seen through this one is that if you're relaxed and are very calm and temperamental, if that's the words that we're looking for, yes, it is, people will be calm and will take for granted. Let us give you an example. Some years ago, this one, being very generous as he is, would help people financially. Would help people knowing that they can't afford things. Would be generous with his money and pay for things such as dinner or drinks, car insurance bills, passports. Did these people pay him back? No. He gifted. Because of his generosity, because of his love for humanity. Did these people respect it? No. Were these people grateful? Not so much. Were they thankful? No. Some were. But what we have also experienced is that if you do not speak up, then this pattern will continue. To give you an example, if you went out with a group of friends and it was your shout for drinks, then you would tell them it's their shout for drinks. Because that is even, that is balanced, that is an exchange. You do not create this feeling of unsettlement within your energy field because the human mind likes to dwell. It creates a sadness if it's taken for advantage for too long. There are many different things that we could discuss as we're reviewing the experiences that this one has had. As we're teaching him the lessons that needed to be learned. And to highlight what they represent because he's recently discovered what the lesson is. And this lesson is what we're talking about, which is why we're talking about it right now, which is boundaries. You must set them, you must establish them, and you must not, there is a difference between having strong boundaries and being arrogant. Yes, you will publish this one. So, as this one is asking, if you will publish it, what more can be done in order to learn to identify these patterns? Well, blessed ones, the best way to be able to identify these patterns is to look at the patterns and look at what you do. If you're someone that is generous and you feel like you're being taken advantage of by other people because you're always paying, then we really encourage you to look at it. Perhaps you need to have a lesson in, not a lesson as in a classroom lesson, but if you look at it and ask your guides for assistance in identifying the lessons in order to raise your awareness to a higher level, to see it from a different perspective, then you can do what this one has recently achieved, and that is to be able to see the lessons that are in front of you. The lessons of, you need to speak up, you need to be confident in yourself and say, hey, this is not fair, it's your turn. Great friendships are built on the understanding of knowing one's boundaries, on knowing one's strengths, on knowing one's weaknesses. Strengths and weaknesses merge to become the great beings that you are. But without identifying your own individual boundaries of knowing what you will do and what you will not do is very important. And this will help you in the future. We hope that you understand what we're trying to say, especially through this one. There are much more teachings coming. We thank you. In love and light, blessed ones. it does get very nerve-wracking when you're seeing your own experiences being shown before you, and you, or before me anyway, let's talk about me in first person rather than me in third person. Watching everything that I've seen come before me as a method of releasing that energy, because the past few weeks, especially tonight, I've seen this energy of annoyance come to the surface, and by doing so has seen, I would say, disruption, but the development of boundaries, because I've helped many people and they've not shown the same level of courtesy or respect in return. And by showing that is that we understand that people are in certain positions in their life, right? And when I was earning a really good income, I was helping people out, paying for some very significant bills to help them get through life. But what I was learning was that a few lessons, to be in truth. One of the major lessons here was to develop boundaries and say no, and to give in a different way. Yes, I love giving, yes, I love helping, but in order to give in a different way, because I understand what it's like now to be in for hardships, to be able to struggle, and I'm sitting there going, well, how come these people aren't helping me? There was I've paid for people to do work for me, to represent me as a business, and you pay them good money and they don't do their job. Then when you demand a refund because they're in breach of contract, then they do nothing. They just come up with excuses. And this pain has been sitting within for quite some time because it's not been dealt with, and it's all been coming to the surface of late, to the point that I see it as very important that this gets done now, because in business this cannot be accepted, because it may lead to the development of people that are exploiting your services. That will come, that if you're a therapist, you generally pay for the account after the session is done. But what happens if they don't have the money and they turn up to the session? How many people have done this before? How many people are aware of this? We all are aware of that people have done this sort of stuff. People shoplift, people do things, that people are dishonest. And what they were saying, and what the feeling of what I was getting, was that, and you can see I struggle, I'm still learning how to interpret what they want me to say, is that we need to have self-worth, self-value. And I've lost the train of thought, so obviously I wasn't meant to go with that topic. I've understood that losing a train of thought means train's derailed, you're not supposed to say things, or it'll come back eventually, something like that, whatever. But there have been a lot of experiences that I've had that really has helped develop the strength and character that I have now. And we will see. So when people buy things and not pay for things and then take anyway, that's been a big thing lately. And then a contract in place, paying for fees for people to do work every month, and then you find out they never did the work, and it's ridiculous. So it's still a work in progress. I understand that. I really have to share this one publicly, but I understand what they mean by being authentic. I understand what they mean by being honest. I understand what they mean by being in integrity. But it's also important for us, for people that are loving and kind and generous, to have strong boundaries, to know when to just not allow it, because it may lead, we need to break the patterns of being over generous, of over giving. Many will say that there is no such thing as over giving, which I understand as well, but if people fall into the pattern of going, oh, we'll just ask this person because they always give, then they kind of stop with the appreciation. They start taking advantage of it. It depends on where they are in their path as well, of their evolutionary cycle. There are people that I've worked with that are very, very grateful for the help that I've given, and they won't come to me unless it's desperate. And if they can't afford it, they won't come to me unless it's extremely desperate. But then you get people that will just incessantly demand that you give them things. It's a very interesting topic, and one that I'll be talking about on Friday night at the group session, because it's a big topic, and having strong morals is really, and sticking to them, kind of makes one feel out of place, if that makes sense. Especially for, it makes me feel out of place, going, well, why is that if I have these values and I'm sticking to these not these belief systems, but these values of a person, how come other people can't appreciate and give it in return? These are lessons, these are experiences in order to create shifts within us. So, I thank you very much for listening. This is the second time or the third time maybe. No, the second time I've actually recorded live videos as part of my channeling training with those that I'm working with. Amy as well, she's just beautiful, I love her to pieces. So I thank you very much for helping, and your encouragement by leaving messages or saying thank you. So I really do thank you, because this is something that I'm learning and giving at the moment, so I can further my own training.